morning, everybody. I can see the numbers going up, people watching. I'm sitting here with Ollie, who has come along to be my techie. Say hello, Ollie.
Hi there.
He is better at reading than me, being so dyslexic, so he's going to have a look at all those comments coming up, and if there's anything I need to answer, he's going to tell me. I hope the village internet is working. And that not too many children, neighbours, are streaming Minecraft or whatever it is they play at the moment, and watching Netflix, because in the rural villages of Norfolk we don't have the kind of... it's not streaming me.
It is. It's just a delay.
I didn't do that. That must be from before. Oh! Sorry. Okay. I think we are live, but there's a delay on the thing, which is really
off-putting.
Very off-putting. So it's not what that's not me. That's me 10 seconds ago.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I'm going to ignore that then. So how can I tell if I lift this up? I can't.
There'll be a delay of about 10 seconds, just because that's how the streaming system works.
Okay, that's how the streaming system works. We'll just have to go with that. Okay. So I mustn't even look at that. That's going to really put me off. Anyway, hello everybody. Thank you for joining. There are 10 people there. I think we're at the 10 o'clock time, are we, Ollie?
We are indeed.
We are. So we're going to start. Welcome everybody. I've never done this before. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, now we're live. Now we're live.
There we go.
Okay, we're live.
On there.
Good, we have no delay, we're live. Okay, welcome everybody to my kitchen table. We're going to have some fun today. Before I start and introduce myself, I'm just going to put some hot water I've got prepared earlier, like Blue Peter, into my pot there, because I'm going to be sculpting. Because I can't get Wi-Fi in my studio, I'm going to be sculpting at the kitchen table, and I don't want to bring clay in here, because it'll block my plumbing and it'll be a nightmare. So actually today I'm going to be working in wax. But let me tell you who I am. I'm Annie Tempest. I've been a cartoonist for Country Life magazine for 27 years. So it makes me very old and wise. And I have... when I was around 50, I started sculpting. I learnt largely on the internet, but also from wonderful courses that I could find around the place. So it's never too late to learn something, and it has brought me such incredible joy being able to create something in space with my hands. It's such an exciting thing, so different to painting. Later today, if you're of a painting persuasion, there's the incredible Paul Wright, will be, is it Paul? Yes, I think so. It is going to be doing a workshop, painting workshop, and that is really incredible. I watched his first one last week. But today I'm going to aim at children, grandparents, everybody, people particularly who have never considered themselves artistic, because you are seriously missing out on some brilliant fun. Now, somebody already asked me, if they don't have any materials like clay or wax or anything, what can they do? So I thought we'd start today by showing you what you can do. Now, this has been an interesting experiment, because I've never made Play-Dohs. Well, I have when my children were tiny, but I haven't for years. So I went onto the YouTube and found somebody who could teach me how to do that. Now, everything you want to learn is on YouTube. Even me now. So I've got a bowl. I remember Blue Peter too. So I've got a bowl. I've got 1 cup of flour. Goes in there. By the way, I'm a lousy cook, but I can make Play-Doh. And 1 cup of salt. 1 cup of flour, half a cup of salt. And I've measured out half a cup of water. And that goes in there. And then you just mix it up like that. You can use cochineal or food dye to make different coloured ones. And if you can see, I'm just mixing it up. We're going to get really messy today, because I'm now going to go in with my hands, because I'm a kind of a hands-on person. I don't even know why I started with that, because I'm somebody who does this. So we're going to go in there and we're going to make this into a sort of dough. I don't even need the bowl, but I don't want to make too much of a mess. But you see, then you've got yourself some clay material that you can bake hard. Okay, so you can do everything that I'm going to be demonstrating with this. Roll the head into a ball and stick it on the body, make a body, and then keep enough for the legs. And we can make a bear like that too. Now, I tried this out for the first time. Let me just get something to clean my hands. We've all got our Corona wipes. I'll try and keep as tidy as I'm capable of keeping during this. I tried this last night because I thought I can't tell you to do something that I haven't done. And the one thing I found with it is that it slumps rather a lot. But with teddy bears, the good thing about making a teddy bear is that the worse the teddy bear is, the funnier and the cuter it is. And I'm going to share a huge failure from last night, but I think it's got something. So under this hat, Dower, come here and meet the people. Here, come up here. This is my Dower. He's coming to sit. He's going to be my student. Here, Dower, say hello. Okay, so under the hat, and he might want to eat it, is a collapsed dough that I made last night. That's probably the best bear you're going to get, roughly, out of Play-Doh. It's a pretty funny bear. I also started watching Netflix and forgot about it, so it's a burnt Play-Doh bear. And if Dower wants to eat it, I don't suppose it'll do him much harm. Anyway, so you can do it with Play-Doh. So that's Play-Doh out of the way. So you don't need anything fancy. And tools-wise, I've got the end of a teaspoon, makes a fantastic sculpting tool. And what else have I got? Oh, cocktail sticks. They're good. We're going to be using a teaspoon and cocktail sticks. I thought we'd keep it as kitchen-friendly as possible today. So one more wipe, just to be on the safe side. We've got to keep our hands clean. Now, I'm doing this in aid of the National Health and also the brilliant NSPCC, because during this corona crisis, there have been a lot of very frightened children. They see their parents not behaving as normal, locking them inside, endlessly watching the news, worrying. And the NSPCC do an amazing job with their helplines and stuff. And I think it's important that we support them. And then obviously our amazing NHS, who are steering us through this crisis with their selflessness and taking huge risks every day. So that's why I'm doing it. And the proceeds of the bear that I will make or have made, I'm going to tell you about that afterwards. Unfortunately, sculpting is not like painting where I can do it all in front of you and make something that's worth auctioning to raise funds. So, let you into a little sneaky secret. I did actually rehearse for this. I tried it, and after 8 hours, I'd finished the bear. So I thought I can't put you through that, so we're going to work differently. I'm going to put all of these little wax shapes that I've pre-made. Oh, did you want to see that? See, I've got a body, a head, body about 2 times the size of the head. Just make out these ears. I've cut out 2 little shapes like this, and then arms. And it also a teddy bear can have big fat legs or skinny legs, or a big fat body or a skinny body. It's entirely up to you. That's the lovely thing. Who says what a teddy bear looks like? You're going to tell me what your teddy bear looks like in your head. So I'm going to put all these pieces to just warm up. A tip for working in wax is to have 2 bowls. Can I have that bowl, Ollie? 1 bowl of hot water and 1 bowl of cold water. And wax it's all about controlling the temperature of the wax. So I've popped that. It's very hot, that water. I took it out of a flask. Ooh. Anyway, so you put the wax in there and it becomes beautifully soft, and you can push it around. But if you want to push it around and you want it to stay where you've pushed it, but quite quickly, you just dunk that then in cold water, and that will set it back hard. So that's now going to stay where I've pushed it to. So that's just a tip for when you're working with wax. Make it easy for yourself. Have a hot bowl and a cold bowl, and you'll be away. Okay, now I am going to demonstrate in clay because I said I would. And I have pre-prepared how, if you have got clay, and some people will have, I've pre-prepared how I made I went about making the bear. Actually, perhaps we ought to have the bear over here. Perhaps Ollie can bring the bear. Brilliant. We're going to show you the bear that I've made, and I'm just going to tell you how I made it. Okay, so there we go. He's in shot now. There he is. There's the bear that I've made. And I wanted him to have a place for a votive candle so that he can be something that can be lit for all the souls that we lose during this pandemic, and for also to remember the people in the National Health. So in order to make a bear in clay, you've got to understand that in order to fire it, to make it a permanent object, it has to be hollow. Otherwise, when you put it in a very high temperature in the kiln, it's going to explode and you won't have anything to auction. So I'm going to teach you, how to build on a coil pot method. And I've pre-prepared a little bit of clay here just to show you how I did it. So I rolled out a flat piece onto my board first, just flat, and then I made coils of, just roll them out, coils of clay. And I've used a plastic drinking picnic mug to create a void inside, which is going to be hollow. So I've just wound each coil round it, and this is going to be the shape of the body. So I want to show you how to join pieces of clay. Okay, so I haven't brought the right tool, which is typical, but it doesn't matter. We can use any tool. Dental tools, by the way, are fantastic tools. So if ever you go to your dentist, say, have you got any old tools you finished with? Old dental tools, and take them home and put them in your sculpting kit. We're going to use a cocktail stick here. So when you've put your coil on, around, you just want to score it along the top like this. Just score it like this. And then take a toothbrush. Oh yes, I do have my tools here. Look, picnic knife with a serrated. That's the perfect tool for this. Do you see how it makes, can you see that? How it makes lines?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it scores the surface. And then you get your toothbrush, old toothbrush. Don't borrow mummy's toothbrush. And you just dunk it in water and it turns the top surface into glue. You do that on both your bits. So here's my sausage and I'm scoring that surface, and then with my toothbrush I'm just turning that into glue. Then that will glue those two surfaces together like that, and you stick it on there, and you just, with your fingers or with a knife or with the end of a spoon or whatever, just blend it into the coil below. Like so. And this, you see this tummy here? This was all built like that. And then as I got to the head, I just made the coils go out again a bit bigger and then smaller, but all with this method of just joining a new coil on there like that. And then when I'd done that, I just took out the, I'm sure you can do this in a neater way, but you've got to hoik that cup out. Let's just hoik it out. I'm not doing this very well, but it's showing you the method. I haven't made the hole big enough, but I got some tweezers here. I'm just going to hoik that out. Beautifully done, don't you think, Ollie?
Like that.
Anyway, so then you build up this hollow thing, which will then not blow up in the kiln. So you build on that, and then when you've got it, where you've hoiked your cup out and you chuck that away, then you can work on the inside and push that tummy out into a big fat teddy tummy. I haven't got the head on here, but can you see in profile how you can push from the inside with your thumb, and you can make a big fat teddy tummy, and then you've got the head on top. Oh, I put the tummy on the back, never mind. And then for where I'm going to put the legs, again, let's just take that off. You're going to get another roll, just quite as simple as this. You get another roll and you attach it to the side of the body like so, and turn a bit up for the foot. You see, that's what that is. And then if it's not big enough, if it's not big enough for your liking, that's the. Can you see? There's a teddy leg, and there's a teddy tummy, and this is where I'm going to push the tummy out in the front to make a big fat tummy when I've joined it. So basically, you build it up like that, and your teddy will be your teddy. It doesn't have to be like my teddy. Take a teddy. These are some teddies I designed way back. This is a Daffy teddy and a husky. And this is called a Tottering bear, which is based on my cartoon strip. But this, actually, it's an interesting fact. This bear was made by Merrythought, the company who make teddy bears and who are at the moment celebrating their 90th year. And this was made by them. Now, this is a very unusual teddy bear because I'm a cartoonist and I designed a teddy bear. This is the only bear you'll ever find that's got eyebrows. Because eyebrows, every cartoonist knows that eyebrows give expression. And when we get to doing the bear that we're going to make today, I'm going to show you how raising eyebrows can change the expression of your bear, because expression's what it's all about. And here's that little bear. Okay, so that's clay out of the way. All you need is, and this will, you can draw clothes on, or you can draw a bow tie. I don't know why he's got it on the side, but you can draw on, and then with little bits of clay, you just build it up, build the shape up over your things. If you want the legs fatter, just add little bits and just build it up. It's really that simple. Okay, so we'll dispense with that one, Ollie. In fact, we'll dispense with all of that and make a bit of room on our table. I think, shall we leave Bear with us?
Leave Bear.
Leave Bear, and we'll leave the interesting
Red Bear.
Can we see that there?
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go. We've got our two weird bears there. Okay, so normally I sculpt serious stuff. I do funny cartoons and I sculpt serious stuff. So this is kind of like weird for me doing teddies. But I just wanted to show you the sort of thing that if you make something, I wish I could show you the weight of this, but this is one of my sculptures. This is in bronze. It's really, really heavy. It's solid bronze. But it's made the same way. It can be made in clay. It can be made, you can even make it in Play-Doh. And then a mould is made at the foundry, and then they take it through a process to turn it into bronze. But that's really heavy, and that's the sort of thing I normally make. So this is a bit of a change. Right, these are really soft now. Beautifully soft. So I'm going to bring these shapes out here. Now I hope you can see. Ooh, they're really soft. I'm just going to pull out all the shapes here. Ooh, the ears are very soft. Now, teddy bears' ears, that's an interesting thing. Some bears can have really tiny ears, and some bears can have enormous ears. This bear's got enormous ears. Okay, so get your shapes. And we're going to join the head to the body. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. Because I'm a cartoonist as well, I know how to move a body about in my head, but I want to show people something that's really key. And to do this, I'm going to bring quite an important thing here. Now this is called an accouché figure. It's after Houdon, and it is done by my anatomy teacher, Scott Eaton. And I want to just show you that bears are very like humans. You know, obviously they're anthropomorphic and we want to feel for them like a person. But one of the key things I want to say is that the head is set down into the neck. And I thought the only way I can show this seriously is to use this figure. And I don't know whether you can see, but I've put a blob of wax here, which is the top of the spine, and a blob of wax here. Now I'm going to put my fingers against them, and you're going to see that they're at a. Can you see that they're at a? Get that arm out of the way. Can you see that they're at a 45-degree angle? I think you can. So the head is not sitting on top of the body; it sits at a 45-degree angle, and even the bear will do this. By the way, I hope you like the fig leaf I've given him because I wanted to keep this children friendly. So that's my accouché figure, and that's the first lesson we're going to learn. Okay, so. We're going to make a 45-degree angle on our body bit at the top, which is going to take the head. Because here, and on me, you see, here's the top of my spine, and here is the pit of the neck, and my neck comes down into that. Well, bear hasn't really got a neck, but his head is going to sit at that sort of angle on the body. So I'm now just going to blend it in with my teaspoon. I've got a spare arm there. Where's my teaspoon?
Only hair.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter what you blend it in with. Whoops. Thank you, Ollie.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all covered in clay. It's no good. Wait a minute. Oh, you do it with your fingers. Do it with your fingers. Okay, so what I'm looking for is here, a 45-degree angle, roughly. And do you see how these old... This is a stiff mohair bear. Do you see this is an old-fashioned bear? And he has a hump at the back. And he's got an old-fashioned growl. So if I were going to give him make him a very old-fashioned bear, I'd give him a big hump here. Anyway, so we've got the head on the body. Doesn't matter if you want to stick the head right on top of the body like this, because the choice is yours. The point is you're going to make your character bear, and I'm not always right. Don't tell my children. Okay, so we've got the head on the body. We're now going to put a nose. So it's just a piece of a sausage that. I've got it quite a bit too big. A piece of a sausage. Oh God, my tool. I knew this would happen. My tools are filthy. Just a piece of a sausage like that. And stick it on roughly the middle of the circle in the front. And just blend it on. With your fingers or with the end of a teaspoon. Ollie's being very useful. And bringing me bits. So, we're just blending that on. Now, I've noticed that these bears are they're sort of a bit flat at the top, like they flatten the circle out at the top and go up to a sort of almost a triangle. You see here, I'm just sort of making almost a triangle. I'm squishing that shape a bit. But again, each bear can have a completely different size head or shape of head. But I quite like that bear-like, teddy bear-like head. Okay, so we've got the nose. I think that looks more like a pig. So I think it's too big. That snout is too big. Oh, and by the way, you can press your finger in for the eye sockets. Eye sockets are really important, not just eyes. See how I've pressed my finger in there to make an eye socket? Because the eye socket actually protects the eye, which is why we have them, and that's part of the skull. So even on a joke thing, you've got to make an eye socket, otherwise you're not going to believe it. You know, it's got to have eyes that are protected. I think it still looks like a pig, so I'm going to cut off a bit more nose. Yeah, I've got a Stanley knife here. Not a Stanley, but... So make the nose as long as you like. And then I'm going to... Do you see how this bit of the nose here is sort of pinched together? I'm going to just pinch a little bit of nose and flatten that off at the top. And then I'm going to just draw on it with a cocktail stick. Here, look. I like to have the face with some expression before I put the arms and legs on. So, okay, I'm going to show you here. We're going to draw a straight line down from the bottom. Look, we'll put two nostrils in so that we know that's the nose. Straight line down, can you see? And then we're going to do one at 4 o'clock and one at 7 o'clock. 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock, okay? Actually, we could make him smile. We could do it at sort of 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock if you want to make him smile. You get how I'm using the clock to tell you the angles? Because most people know how to use a clock. And I don't know about, 180 degrees and things. So one's at 3 o'clock on a clock and one's at 9 o'clock on a clock. Okay. Now, why have I got these? Why have I got cloves? I'm sure your mum's got some if you're a child, if you're in your mum's kitchen, or somebody in the house will have them. If they haven't, peppercorns are fine. But what I like about cloves, and Ollie was asking me, why have you got cloves on the table? Well, I'm going to show you. They're like, you see they've got a little spiky bit. And you can just put them into the eye socket. Like so. And... like so, and now you see our bear's getting a little bit of character. Now once you put on his ears, then we'll have a little character. Now you can make this face any way you like, and in fact use your clay. I like to build up my eye sockets a bit, So I'm just going to put a bit on there.
Just whilst you do that, Annie,
Yeah.
Someone's asked, will there be a time for questions? Feel free to ask
Yeah.
any questions.
Yes, ask any questions as we go along. Ollie will read them out. I can't see at this distance, even with my glasses on, because I'm old. But only 6 years old in my spirit.
Hence the teddy bears.
Hence the teddy bears. This is the best fun. Okay, so hang on. I'm just poking around with anything you can find in the kitchen, just moving the clay around. Let's just get some ears on, because ears give character. I'm just going to take an ear shape, which is just like a half moon, or make a circle cut it in half, and you've got 2 ears the same. And do you see how I'm sticking the ear onto the side of the head? Look, he's coming into a teddy bear. Okay. I'm just going to blend that ear in to make it hold on. Like that. How are you getting on? Everybody getting on all right? Any Play-Doh collapsing into one of these comical, very aged bears?
I love that bear.
Yeah, that bear's good, isn't it? You see, and that's what I love about bears, is that they make, the worse they are, the better they are in a way. I'm going to put one big ear and one little ear on here, because actually, you know, a lot of bears have been loved to death and have lost their ears, and somebody's sewn on the wrong size of ear, and that, and even in the wrong place, is quite funny.
We've had a question as well. Can we make this with ordinary salt clay?
With salt clay? Do you mean salt dough? Because I demonstrated that at the top of this video. If you mean salt dough with flour, salt and water, we've got some here that I made earlier. And this is literally a cup of flour, half a cup of salt, and half a cup of water, and kneaded into a dough. And here is the body of our bear, and here is the head. And it's perfectly good to make it. Having said that, if you have too much water in it, it can sink. But then look at the character in this one. I mean, his body is sort of flattened out in the oven. And you bake it at, I baked that at about 300 degrees. I think it was supposed to be for half an hour, but I forgot about it and burnt it. Set an alarm.
Also got another question. Where can people buy the wax if they're hoping to do this?
Okay. Now, if you put in white modelling wax, actually there is... If you want to use wax, you can go to Taranti, which has all the sculptor supplies. But I'm afraid that during coronavirus, their staff are being protected and they've sent them home. So you'll have to do that in the future, or they may reopen next week, who knows. But I think there are other people, probably Amazon would be able to find somebody who'd supplied the white modelling wax. The other thing is, of course, Nuplast, I've been told about, because I've been following another artist doing exactly this during the corona time. There are loads of artists being incredibly generous with their times. And there's another sculptor called Mark Corrith who's been doing the most fantastic sculpting safari on his Instagram feed. And he says that Nuplast is available, and you can get that, and it's plasticine, and it's really good. And I'm sculpting my first animals, you know, proper in-motion animals, having learnt from his online tuition. So thank you, Mark, for that. So, look, here we go. We have a bear with one small ear and one big ear, but it gives him character. Hang on, I'm going to blend the bottom of his mouth in because he's still looking a bit pig-like. If you blend the bottom of that in, he's looking a bit more bear-like. I'm just going to give him a little bit of a nose. And I think that probably we're going to put a little bit, 2 little rounds of clay there to make him look a bit cuter. But anyway, he's coming on. Well, shall we add the arms and legs now? Okay, so I'm going to... Oh, yeah, no, they're still soft. So side of the body, not the front like that, side of the body, because your legs are attached to the side of your body, not to the front, like a lot of people think. You know, if they haven't done much art. Okay, so we're going to add both legs to the side of the body, and we're just going to blend them in with our fingers. And by the way, once you've got the head on, you can change his character by doing all sorts of things with his head. You can make him look a bit quizzical if you change the head angle. So attach those to the side, And then for the big feeties, look, just turn them up at the end. Okay, and we can refine this later. We're just getting the major bits on. Oh, there's his arm. Oh, I think that was a leg. I think I've attached an arm and a leg to the bottom. It doesn't matter. That's the whole point. It doesn't matter.
That's the beauty of it.
That's the beauty of it, because we're making an individual bear. This one has obviously been to a bear hospital. Now, bears in hospital, can you hold that up to the camera, Ollie? Can you see? Bear? That's one of my cartoons of a bear in hospital. And do you see how he's got honey on the drip? He's changed it. He's a naughty bear. Okay, so, but bears, there is such a thing as a bear hospital, a teddy bear hospital. I don't know where it is, but I know it exists, and I think Giles Brandreth might have something to do with it. Where people send their bears for surgery to have, you know, beautifully new limb replacements. It's a sort of...
You have fans of the NHS bear as well to your left. Ethan is saying that he absolutely loves the NHS bear.
Thank you, Ethan. Thank you, Ethan. That's going to be auctioned at some point in aid of the NHS. In fact, we should light the candle, Ollie. We should have that lit. Anyway, I've got the arms on here. Look, he's coming. Oh, look, he got his head all to the side. That's quite sweet. Let me just take a look at him. I have to turn in my way to take a look at him, to just see if I can put some character in. I'm going to give him some eyebrows. And actually, it's really embarrassing because when I do expression, I nearly always pull the expression. I'm trying my hardest not to. But do you see how if you draw eyebrows on, can you see eyebrows there? If you draw eyebrows on, you can give it much more expression. He's looking a bit tired. Let me just try and perk him up a bit. When people perk up, do you see how I set up? When you perk up, and if you put that in your body at the same time as you're sculpting, it sort of somehow goes into your sculpture. Look, he's perked up quite a lot. Can you see that? He's quite perky now. Shall we give him... I think I'm going to make this ear smaller. Point is, you can change it. And if you want to get really clever, if you're sort of, if you've got devices, you can actually... I was thinking you might be able to do some nice stop motion ones with these. And then maybe make a little TikTok post. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
That would be a lot of fun.
That'd be a lot of fun. And you could have, you could make the bear wave. What are we doing for time?
It's about halfway.
Halfway. Nearly finished a bear. Okay, so now the other. Oh yeah, no. If you wanted to make your, I'm not going to go too much further with this bear. I mean, we can change. I'm going to completely change his expression. Take his eyes out, just to show you how you can. Oh, can't go. That's not. Just get his eyes out. Get the clothes out. You don't need clothes. You don't need to have clothes. But I've actually cast things with clothes as eyes before. Okay, I'm going to perhaps. I'm going to give him a completely different expression. I'll turn him around in a minute. He's going to be shall I make a worried bear? Anybody got any suggestions for expressions? And I'll see if I can create them live. I should really have the camera around this side, but we can't do that. Okay, I'm making a worried bear. Ooh. But you see, I have to pull the face, otherwise I can't do it. There. Okay, so he's looking a little bit worried. Now what happens? You see, I'm feeling, while I'm making it, I'm feeling the muscles. And I can feel these corrugators here going. So I'm going to exaggerate that. Do you see when you get worried, you get a mirror and have a look at yourself, and then just copy that expression onto your bear.
Do you want to do actual little eyes?
Okay, so actual little eyes. Okay, so now, and I think that sometimes a worried little bear might have a mouth like that. Ooh, he's going. Ooh.
We've had a suggestion for an exhausted bear.
Exhausted, okay. Here's a little worried bear. Okay, so we're going to do exhausted. Okay, again it's the corrugators, but then that comes down. Okay, he's really tired. What happens to him? A bit sort of...
Slouched on the sides.
He's slouched on the sides. Okay, so I'm going to draw a mouth and quite low. Exhausted. Oh, we need to put bags under his eyes if he's exhausted. That would be the thing, wouldn't it? When you're exhausted, you get bags under your eyes. Of course you do. So that's all you do when you sculpt, is you think, oh, what would that do? It's just about engaging the brain and then putting it into your material. Here we go. Oh, bags. Yeah, that does it. I don't think I've ever done an exhausted bear, but I think that oh yes, he's looking very tired. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to turn it round. He's quite funny. The point is, and then if he's exhausted, you might slump him. I mean, because when you're exhausted, you're really tired. So shall we just slump him right over, and maybe the chin would come up, and he might even cross his arms like that.
Love it.
You see, and you just got to think your way into it, like that. Okay. Any other expressions while we're at it? What about? Okay, I can show you actually. I'm going to show you something else. In sculpture, I'm going to bring up a couple of things in a minute. Okay, there's inside a sculpture usually is something called an armature, and this is an armature of a person. But it could equally be a bear. But if you want to have the bear standing up, the wax will, if you put his legs up this way, and you want to stand him. Hang on. Shall we put? We'll put an arm on his hip. We'll put his hand. Oh, he's looking really grumpy. Look, put hands on his hips there. Oh, he's very grumpy, looking very fed up. But he can't stand. He's just going to collapse. So when you want to do an upright bear, you need to make some wire inside him. And I can't demonstrate because I don't make bears with wire inside. But if you wanted to have a standing bear rather than a sitting bear, you could have, what you do is you build a wire and then you get him into the position. We'll make this person running. Okay, if you're running, you've got, can you see this wire, Ollie?
Yes, absolutely.
You can. Okay, so, and if you're running, you're leaning forward. So here is a running figure. Well, basically, that's what an armature is for. So, for example, when I'm planning sculptures, I will make a sketch in wax on a wire like that. So, for example, this one is one I was working out to see if I made it bigger. Can you see there's a figure here? And you see, then I draw on it. And if I wanted to make this bigger and I wanted to make just one armature through it, I've seen, is there a good straight line that will hold the whole lot? And I draw on it and I do my planning for a sculpture like this. I mean, actually, this one ended up not to be a whole body. It was just a torso with no head because there was a lovely twist in it. But do you see how this is how sculptors plan? I mean, this is the equivalent of a sculptor's sketchbook. I've got a drawer full of these, which I do fast sketching to plan. But so this figure, for example, I'm not going to pull it apart now because I might use it in the future. So if I wanted to build my teddy bear walking, I would make a wire thing like this. And I would then put my wax straight over it like this, tube out the legs with the wax and the body. And then I would stick it. Here's one with a wax on. You see what movement you can get. This is just one that I'm going to be working on. But do you see how I've just stuck it onto a little base of wood, and now I can move it into whatever position I like, and it's standing on its own 2 feet, and the wire's holding it up. So that's what an armature's for. So that is that out of the way. And then the other thing is when these things are made, you can make a mould with silicone rubber, even of your bear. And then you can cast it in many different materials. As I showed you earlier, this one is made in bronze. This one, I watched on YouTube somebody showing me how to use glass cast resin. And do you see how this one is another figure which I've just filled the mould with glass cast resin. It's rather beautiful when the light goes through it. So that's that. So, back to bear. Any other expressions we want? Because I think we know how to build the bear now. Any other questions for me?
We've got a cheeky bear.
A cheeky bear. Ooh, okay. Cheeky bear.
And I think we've also had a clever bear. That's a bit more of a difficult one.
Oh, clever bear. Oh, well, have I got any wire here? We definitely need a pair of spectacles for the clever bear. Shall we do a clever bear? Oh, we want cheeky and clever. Okay, we'll do both. Clever bear. He's going to be thinking. Oh, a Rodin bear.
A Rodin bear?
Yeah, you could easily do a Rodin bear. But we'll do a clever bear. He's having a think. We're going to make his arm a bit longer because that... Hands, also, arms, gesture says a lot about character. A clever bear. So I'm just winding his arm. Oh, and also I'll talk you through some texture for the bear's fur as well. Clever bear. He's having a think. He might even have a pencil. Yes, he's having a think. Okay, so... and he's rather superior, and his eyebrows are going to go that way.
And what you said about using wire for the glasses, the use of props to
props, yes,
identify what you're trying to do.
And of course, you know, if you don't have this and you don't want to do Play-Doh, you can felt them. You can make, you know, if you want, you can learn all these things online. Felting, I love to do a bit of felting in front of the television. You can make a ball for the head and a ball for the body, and then, you know, with your felting needle. Or you can just sew bits of fabric. They can be patchwork, old bits of fabric. What am I doing? I'm doing the... It's very difficult. I don't know how some people do that, sculpt and talk at the same time, because my brain is going, come on, get your face into this position, feel it in your body. Okay, and I think that their eyelids would be looking rather superior.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to make some superior eyelids. I don't think I've ever made superior eyelids before. But here we go, you know, anything for the national health. Superior eyelids coming up. Okay, so we're going to have... I'm just going to blend them in with a cocktail stick. And so then we want to sort of hide those things under the lid. Now, it's very difficult to show you at the same time as doing it, I find. I'm still thinking superior eyelids. Okay, yeah. So, superior eyelids. I've gone quiet. Anybody chatting away there, Ollie?
We've got some people asking if they could use beeswax from a beekeeper friend, or must it be white sculpting wax?
No, it can be any wax at all. It can be any material. For heaven's sake, you can use mud from the garden and bake it. That's the whole point. I mean, you know, if you're... I mean, I've got friends in Kenya who made stuff as children with mud, and then they emptied out a termite mound and made a kiln out inside the termite mound.
Wow. So
basically, you know, the other material which I really, really recommend is something called Super Sculpey, which is an oven bake. But if you've got Filmo, is it Fimo? Fimo, you know, basically anything that you can mould into a shape, sculpt with it. That's what I say.
And with the beeswax, would you suggest, or any wax?
It smells lovely. If I were making it in beeswax, I'd probably try and add a piece of string through and turn it into a candle.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, why wouldn't you? Lovely candle.
And you still suggest the hot water and then the cold water to set
Yes,
it?
absolutely. Any kind of wax would benefit from this. I mean, you have to keep filling it up. Actually, that's quite warm still because it was very hot when I put it in. But it just makes, and you don't have to have it, but it makes life so much easier, and you know, pretty much everybody has access to water. Okay, so I'm just...
We're nearly there with the clever bear.
We're nearly there with... for some reason, he's not looking that clever. I'm going to try and dig in there. I want him to look a little bit superior.
He still has the bags under his eyes.
He's still got the bags under his eyes, yeah. But you know, the thing is, I can do this in no time drawing. It's just quite an ask to do it quickly in clay with an audience, you know. But I'm up for anything. As I say, I've got no shame.
Another question. You've mentioned quite a few times baking. If we were using Play-Doh or plasticine, would you still bake this?
Don't bake plasticine. No, because plasticine will simply melt. Okay. Oh, I'm going there. No, Play-Doh, yes. And I found it very easy to find somebody on YouTube straight away to give me the recipe and the baking instructions on that. So if you just put in homemade Play-Doh, you'll get endless people up on YouTube.
But they don't need some sort of special oven.
You don't need a special oven, no. Super Sculpey, you bake in the oven 130, 15 minutes for every centimetre, I think. But the instructions are on the packet. Okay, here we go.
Things like Fimo is based on the material as well, so I think it's just 200 degrees, half an hour.
Oh, can you bake Fimo?
Yes, you can, yeah.
Oh, because when I tried with it, it was very soft.
It is very soft stuff, that.
Yeah. I don't know, he's thinking. He's more thinking.
I think a thinking bear.
Yeah, he's not that intense. But I would like to give him some glasses. I suppose you could draw... No. Oh, we could make some glasses if we don't have... I could cut that wire off, but... well, let's see if we can make some glasses. Here we go. The point is that you can do anything. And playing is such an important part of stress relief. And particularly if you've never done this before, for heaven's sake, don't judge yourself. Have a play, because that's that will release your stress from the situation we're all in at the moment. Artists are quite used to it because we spend our whole time on lockdown in our studios doing what we do. So for me, I haven't noticed anything different. But I realise that a lot of people do find it extremely stressful to be locked away. Here we go, I'm making some glasses. You see, I didn't have the wire and I found a way. Oh. There we go.
Love it.
It got some glasses and a pen. So, where are we now? We wanted a cheeky.
A cheeky?
Cheeky? We'll go cheeky. Okay, cheeky. Okay, cheeky. I'm thinking 4-year-old cheeky.
Mm.
Okay. I'm going to change the shape of the face quite radically here.
Doing something he knows that he's going to get told off for later.
And he's sort of... Actually, I just have to think about my dog to get myself into the zone for this one. He's going to look at... He's a cheeky monkey. Actually, he's turned... Funnily enough, he's turned into a monkey. As I said, cheeky monkey. There's a monkey looking at me. That's so weird. It just shows that your hands have... an intelligence of their own that sort of bypasses the brain, I find, certainly sculpting. Ooh, yeah.
And in the same way that the bears are very anatomical, the same as people, in the same way that monkeys or essentially anything...
Absolutely. I mean, this definitely is more of a monkey. I don't know why it turned into a monkey, but it's a cheeky monkey. Because I said cheeky monkey, it immediately turned into a monkey. It's a cheeky monkey. It just turned into one. But we can turn it back into a bear in no time. I don't know why it turned into a cheeky monkey. Oh, look. And of course, every time you move the head into a different position, and I encourage you to do that because it's endless hours of laughter. It is for me anyway. Look at that. He's quite sweet looking up like that. And I'm thinking, what is he thinking? He's seen a fly.
Very cheeky. And we've also had, if you're up for another,
yes?
We've got Hysterical Bear.
Okay, my mouth immediately went like
Absolutely.
That. So we're going to try an open mouth bear. Okay, Hysterical Bear coming up. Oh, I've just changed the mouth.
Done, straight away. That's all it is.
And hang on, we just raise the eyebrows a bit more. We'll just literally pinch them up and pinch the bottom of the eyes down. That's a bit heavy-handed, that tool. Because your eyes open, see the whites of your eyes. Here we go. I could sit here all day, or we could do this. Okay, now hysterical. And it's sort of, I have to pull it to get it. So that the bottom of the mouth goes down more like... Okay, then now he's a frightened hysterical bear.
That is a bear that has seen something.
He's
terrifying.
seen something. And now he's a bit worried that we're laughing at him.
And that's how easy it is.
It really is that easy. So I hope that you will... Now, there's a hashtag we want you to put your bears up onto, and it is hashtag Fine Art Fever. So if you're on Instagram, if you could, when you make your bears, if you could hashtag Fine Art Fever, that would be just fantastic, and we can see how many of you have made some... frankly, the weirder the better. The madder the bear, the better, in my book.
So we've got 10 minutes left, so if we have any questions...
So I'll stop sculpting, or if you want me to do a different expression.
People are asking if they can do the curly fur, like how you...
Oh, curly fur! Yes, absolutely, the curly fur. Forgot about that. Do you know, it's so easy. Literally, I took a tool and I just...
Jabbed away at it.
Jabbed away at it, all different directions, so it's not too neat. You've got to make sure that you're going in take a stick, all different directions. And also you can pinch the edge bits with your fingers to make sort of hanging over fur. So basically, all over, just scruffing up the surface, like so. And that's how I did it in the Play-Doh as well. Just scruffing up. And then teddy bears often have that piece of felt that goes on the bottom of their feet, which is stitched on. So, just draw, I'm just going to show you, draw on a circle as if it's a piece of fabric, and then just draw stitches, as if it's been stitched on. Can you see that, Ollie?
Yeah.
Which foot have I done? That one. There, can you see I've just drawn a circle onto it with my pen, with my cocktail stick, and we just scuff it up like this. There.
And is that how you did it with the NHS bear?
And that's exactly how I did this. It was just scuffed like that. And you see how I've drawn around the feet. When I made this bear... Oh, there's a candle in there. Oh, nearly burnt me. When I made this bear, I wanted it to have a candle holder there. You've got to remember that if you are going to do a bear in clay, which I really recommend because it's fun, coil pot method, and you can make it very big like that if you want. And I'm sure that your local school, who has an art department, would fire it for you, even if it was for £5 or something, or a local doodle pots or something. But I made a little container for something. Now remember, it will shrink by 14% roughly in the kiln, so I made the hole bigger than the actual candle holder that I want because I'm making allowances for that shrinkage. So what else about that bear?
I think that the main thing with that bear as well is that you started with the big ears, the same as how you did with this, and as much as it shrunk, it's kept that same shape that it's shrunk all unilaterally.
It'll shrink it'll be exactly like that, but 14% smaller.
Absolutely.
Okay, now we're very close to the end, and I just wanted to make a little announcement which I haven't made before, but these two very senior bears, this one and, not this one because he's mine, and this one, they're made in stiff mohair by Jane Leonard, who is an amazing bear maker, and they're made to my designs, and I would like to offer to add into the auction these two bears, one for NSPCC and one to be auctioned for the National Health. They're very superior tottering bears, and I'm just announcing that not only will this bear go into the auction, but I'm donating on behalf of Jane Leonard and myself these two amazing stiff mohair old-fashioned bears.
And do we know where they'll be auctioned?
And I don't know, but if you follow this channel and the people who run this channel, Mackay Williamson, who represent my sculpture output, my serious sculpture, who are hopefully putting on an exhibition for me. We're not sure whether it's going ahead, obviously, in the situation, but will be, even if it's postponed. They will be organising the auction and all the artists participating. So I will have to say goodbye to these lovely bears, and they'll say goodbye to you now. I think we've done the hour.
Absolutely.
Any other questions?
Got 5 minutes of last questions.
5 minutes of questions. I don't want to let go of these bears, but they're going to go for a good cause.
So yeah, people asking how they bid. I think you basically.
How will they bid? They'll have. I will put something up on my Instagram, Annie Tempest Artist, and you will be able to find out how to bid for these bears. So this one will be ceramic, and these two are stiff mohair. So very superior.
I think that's basically everything.
So thank you, everybody. I don't know how many, I can't see from here how many people have joined us, but I hope you've enjoyed it and I haven't been too shambolic. And actually no dogs have barked, so that's good. And thank you very much. Bye-bye.